Discipline is not something you are born with. It is something you build. The Stoics believe that a disciplined mind is the greatest form of freedom. Without discipline, you are ruled by moods, impulses, and distractions. With discipline, you become calm, focused, and unbreakable. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes shaped by its daily habits. This series is about turning discipline into something natural, automatic, and powerful. Not through force, but through understanding. Not through motivation, but through identity. Let us begin. Chapter 1. Why discipline feels hard and freedom feels easy. Discipline feels difficult because it asks you to act against impulse. Freedom feels easy because it allows impulse to rule. Most people confuse freedom with doing whatever they want. The Stoics define freedom very differently. To them, freedom meant mastery over the self. Marcus Aurelius wrote that no man is free who cannot command himself. This chapter begins where real discipline begins, by correcting the false idea of freedom. The weak version of yourself believes discipline is restriction. It feels like punishment. It feels like effort without reward. This belief creates resistance. When discipline is framed as loss, the mind avoids it. Stoicism reframes discipline as gain. Discipline is not the removal of freedom. It is the creation of it. When you lack discipline, your life is controlled by cravings, emotions, and circumstances. You wake when you feel like it. You work when motivation appears. You quit when discomfort arises. This feels free, but it is not. It is dependency. You are dependent on feeling good to function. Marcus Aurelius observed that people become slaves to pleasure and fear without realizing it. They believe they are choosing freely, but they are reacting automatically. Discipline breaks this pattern. It inserts reason between impulse and action. Discipline feels hard because it exposes resistance. Resistance is the mind pushing back against effort. The weak self avoids resistance because it interprets discomfort as danger. Stoicism teaches that discomfort is not danger, it is training. The first time you wake early, your body protests. The first time you focus deeply, your mind wanders. The first time you say no to comfort, anxiety appears. These reactions are not signs that discipline is wrong. They are signs that discipline is working. The weak self seeks ease because ease feels safe. The Stoic understands that ease without strength becomes fragility. A fragile mind collapses under pressure. Discipline builds durability. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that he was not made for comfort alone. He was made for action, effort, and endurance. This perspective transforms discipline from burden into duty. Another reason discipline feels hard is because results are delayed. Pleasure is immediate. Discipline is patient. The weak self prefers instant reward. Stoicism teaches long vision. You endure now so you can stand strong later. The mind resists what it cannot see. Discipline works quietly. Its rewards appear slowly, often invisibly at first. This is why many quit early. They mistake silence for failure. Freedom without discipline leads to chaos. Discipline without understanding leads to burnout. Stoicism provides understanding. It explains why effort matters. The Stoics believe that habits shape destiny. What you do repeatedly becomes who you are. Discipline is not about one heroic effort. It is about daily alignment with reason. When discipline is inconsistent, the mind stays unstable. You feel guilty, frustrated, and scattered. When discipline becomes steady, the mind becomes calm. Calm is the reward. The weak self fears discipline because it fears exposure. Discipline reveals where you are unfocused, indulgent, and inconsistent. This truth can be uncomfortable, but clarity is always better than illusion. Marcus Aurelius wrote that it is better to see things as they are than to live deceived. Discipline removes self-deception. Another reason discipline feels hard is identity conflict. If you see yourself as undisciplined, every act of discipline feels unnatural. Stoicism teaches identity through action. You do not wait to feel disciplined. You act disciplined, and identity follows. Freedom feels easy because it requires no structure. But ease without structure leads to regret. Regret is the price of undisciplined freedom. Stoic discipline creates structure without rigidity. It allows flexibility without chaos. You choose your actions deliberately instead of impulsively. The weak self avoids structure because it feels limiting. The Stoic embraces structure because it reduces decision fatigue. When standards are clear, life becomes simpler. Discipline also feels hard because it removes excuses. Without discipline, failure can be blamed on mood, energy, or circumstances. With discipline, responsibility becomes clear. This clarity can feel heavy at first, but responsibility is power. When you accept responsibility, you gain control. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you always have the power to choose your response. Discipline strengthens this power. Freedom without discipline makes you reactive. Discipline makes you proactive. Instead of reacting to life, you shape it. The weak self wants permission to quit when things get uncomfortable. Stoicism removes this permission. It replaces it with commitment. Commitment is calming. When you know you will act regardless of mood, internal debate disappears. This silence is peace. Discipline also trains trust in yourself. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, confidence grows. Confidence is not built through affirmation. It is built through proof. The undisciplined mind doubts itself. The disciplined mind trusts itself. Stoicism teaches that the mind becomes what it practices. Practice hesitation, and you become hesitant. Practice action, and you become decisive. Discipline is difficult only at the beginning. Over time, it becomes natural. What once required effort becomes habit. Habit becomes identity. This is how discipline turns into freedom. The Stoics did not seek comfort. They sought alignment with nature and reason. Discipline aligns you with your higher capacity. This chapter invites you to change how you see discipline, not as restriction, but as liberation. Not as effort, but as investment. Once discipline is understood correctly, resistance weakens. In the next chapter, you will learn how to use Stoic clarity to design discipline so it becomes addictive instead of exhausting. Chapter 2: How Stoic clarity makes discipline addictive. Discipline becomes addictive when the mind understands why it acts. Without clarity, discipline feels like force. With clarity, discipline feels natural. The Stoics believed that clarity of thought was the foundation of all strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote that if the mind is clear, action becomes simple. This chapter is about removing confusion so discipline stops feeling heavy and starts feeling inevitable. The weak version of yourself lives in mental fog. It is unclear about priorities. It is distracted by many desires at once. When everything feels important, nothing is done well. Stoic clarity cuts through this fog. It simplifies life into what matters and what does not. Clarity begins with understanding control. Epictetus taught that some things are within your control and some things are not. This distinction changes everything. Discipline focuses only on what you can control: your effort, your habits, your response. When you stop wasting energy on what you cannot control, discipline becomes lighter. Most people exhaust themselves trying to control outcomes. They want results immediately. Stoicism redirects attention to process. You do your duty well and accept the result calmly. This shift removes anxiety, which is one of the biggest enemies of discipline. An anxious mind avoids effort. A clear mind moves steadily. Clarity also removes emotional confusion. When emotions dominate decisions, discipline collapses. Stoicism does not remove emotion, but it places reason above it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to pause and examine impressions before acting. This pause creates space. In that space, discipline is chosen. When the mind is calm, discipline feels aligned, not forced. Another reason discipline becomes addictive with clarity is reduced inner conflict. The weak self argues constantly. Should I do this? Maybe later. I don't feel ready. These debates drain energy. Stoic clarity replaces debate with decision. Once a standard is set, action follows automatically. There is no negotiation. This is why discipline becomes easier over time. Clarity also strengthens discipline by reducing desire. The Stoics believe that uncontrolled desire enslaves the mind. When you want too many things, discipline feels like deprivation. When desires are simple, discipline feels peaceful. Marcus Aurelius practiced wanting less so he could live freely. When you reduce unnecessary desires, you reduce temptation. Less temptation means less resistance. Discipline is hardest when desire is loud. Clarity quiets desire. Stoic clarity also means knowing your values. When values are unclear, discipline lacks direction. When values are clear, discipline has purpose. Purpose fuels consistency. Ask yourself what kind of person you want to be. Not what you want to achieve, but how you want to live. Stoicism is about character before achievement. Discipline serves character. The weak self chases outcomes. The Stoic builds identity. When discipline aligns with identity, it feels natural. You act not because you must, but because it fits who you are becoming. Clarity also removes overthinking. Overthinking delays action. Marcus Aurelius warned that overanalysis weakens resolve. Discipline requires movement, not perfection. A clear mind accepts imperfect action. It knows progress comes through doing, not waiting. Stoic clarity is built through reflection. Daily review sharpens understanding. Marcus Aurelius reflected each night on his actions. This practice strengthens discipline by revealing patterns. When you see clearly where you fail, you can adjust calmly instead of quitting emotionally. Clarity also reduces self-judgment. Harsh self-criticism drains discipline. Stoicism encourages honest assessment without cruelty. You correct without shaming. This balanced approach keeps discipline sustainable. Another element of clarity is understanding time. The weak self believes there is always later. Stoicism reminds you that time is limited. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you could leave life at any moment. This awareness creates urgency without panic. When time feels precious, discipline feels meaningful. Clarity also involves accepting effort as part of life. When you stop expecting ease, effort stops feeling unfair. Stoicism normalizes effort. It removes surprise. Discipline becomes addictive when effort is expected, not resisted. Stoic clarity also improves focus. When the mind knows what matters, distractions lose power. You stop chasing noise. You protect attention. Attention is the fuel of discipline. When attention is scattered, discipline weakens. When attention is focused, discipline strengthens. The weak self seeks stimulation. The Stoic seeks depth. Clarity also builds confidence. When you understand yourself, you trust yourself. Trust reduces hesitation. Hesitation kills discipline. Marcus Aurelius trusted reason over impulse. This trust stabilized his actions. Another reason discipline becomes addictive is progress awareness. With clarity, you notice small improvements. Small wins reinforce behavior. The weak self ignores progress. The Stoic observes it calmly. This observation builds momentum. Clarity also teaches acceptance of slow growth. Discipline does not transform you overnight. Stoicism values patience. When you stop rushing, discipline feels sustainable. Sustainable discipline is addictive because it does not exhaust. The Stoics believe that clarity leads to tranquility. A tranquil mind resists distraction naturally. Discipline flows from tranquility. When the mind is quiet, action feels smooth. Clarity also removes fear of failure. When effort matters more than outcome, failure loses power. You act freely. Discipline thrives in this freedom. The weak self fears failure. The Stoic uses failure as instruction. This mindset keeps discipline alive even after setbacks. Clarity also simplifies decisions. Fewer decisions mean less fatigue. Less fatigue means more discipline. Marcus Aurelius valued simplicity for this reason. Complexity drains willpower. When discipline is clear, it stops feeling like sacrifice. It feels like alignment. This is the turning point. Discipline stops being something you force and becomes something you return to. In the next chapter, you will learn how to use Stoic repetition to turn discipline into an automatic habit that runs without effort. Chapter 3. Turning discipline into automatic habit. Discipline becomes powerful when it no longer depends on willpower. Willpower is limited. Habits are not. The Stoics understood this deeply, even if they did not use modern language. Marcus Aurelius knew that what you repeat daily becomes your nature. This chapter is about transforming discipline from a daily struggle into an automatic behavior that works even when motivation is low. The weak version of yourself relies on mood. When energy is high, it acts. When energy is low, it delays. This creates inconsistency. Stoicism removes mood from decision-making. Action is based on principle, not feeling. Habit is how principle becomes automatic. A habit is simply repeated behavior that no longer requires debate. Debate drains energy. Discipline becomes easy when debate disappears. The Stoics valued routine because routine reduces friction. When actions are predictable, the mind stays calm. Marcus Aurelius structured his days around duty, not desire. This consistency protected him from chaos. The first step to building automatic discipline is repetition at a manageable level. The weak self tries to change everything at once. It overcommits and burns out. Stoicism teaches moderation. Small actions repeated consistently build strength faster than extreme actions done briefly. If discipline feels overwhelming, it is too large. Reduce the action, not the consistency. Repetition trains the nervous system. The body learns what is expected. The mind stops resisting. Over time, what felt difficult becomes familiar. The Stoics believed familiarity breeds calm. When the mind knows what comes next, it relaxes. Discipline benefits from this calm. Another key is fixed timing. Doing the same action at the same time each day removes choice. Choice invites hesitation. Habit removes it. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about beginning the day with intention. Morning discipline is powerful because the mind is fresh and undistracted. The weak self postpones. The Stoic begins. Automatic discipline also requires clear triggers. A trigger is a signal that tells the habit to start. For example, waking up triggers reflection. Sitting at a desk triggers focused work. Without triggers, habits drift. Stoic routines are anchored to simple triggers. This reduces thinking. Thinking is not always helpful. Overthinking destroys discipline. Another principle is environment control. The Stoics believed you should remove unnecessary temptations. Discipline is not about testing yourself constantly. It is about designing life so discipline is supported. If distraction is always available, discipline will struggle. Remove what weakens you. This is wisdom, not avoidance. Marcus Aurelius warned against placing yourself in situations that provoke weakness unnecessarily. Strength does not mean reckless exposure. Habit also strengthens through identity. When you see yourself as disciplined, actions align naturally. Identity grows from evidence. Each disciplined action reinforces belief. The weak self says, "I will act when I feel disciplined." The Stoic says, "I act, therefore I am disciplined." Another part of automation is reducing emotional weight. When you dramatize effort, discipline feels heavy. Stoicism treats effort as neutral, neither good nor bad, simply necessary. When effort is neutral, resistance decreases. Automatic discipline also requires forgiveness of imperfection. Missing one day does not destroy a habit, quitting does. Stoicism teaches return, not perfection. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to return to reason when he drifted. This return is strength. The weak self uses failure as an excuse to stop. The Stoic uses failure as a reminder to continue. Habit grows through continuity, not flawlessness. Another element is limiting scope. Too many habits weaken focus. Stoicism values simplicity. Choose a few disciplines and practice them deeply. Depth creates stability. Stability creates habit. Repetition also benefits from visible tracking. The Stoics tracked progress mentally through reflection. Modern tools can serve the same purpose. Seeing consistency reinforces behavior. However, do not become dependent on tools. Discipline must live in the mind. Automatic discipline also improves emotional stability. When actions are predictable, emotions settle. Chaos feeds anxiety. Structure feeds calm. The weak self craves novelty. The Stoic values steadiness. Over time, discipline begins to feel strange when absent. This is when it becomes addictive. Not because it is exciting, but because it feels right. The body begins to expect movement, focus, and effort. Laziness feels uncomfortable. This is the reversal. Marcus Aurelius reached this state. He wrote that failing to act according to reason felt worse than effort. Habit also protects discipline during stress. When life becomes difficult, habits carry you forward automatically. You do not need to decide. You simply continue. This is why discipline must be built before crisis arrives. Automatic discipline also reduces ego. When actions are routine, there's no pride or drama. You simply do what must be done. The Stoics valued humility for this reason. Pride disrupts consistency. Another important aspect is rest. Habits that ignore recovery collapse. Stoicism respects balance. Rest is part of discipline, not its enemy. Planned rest strengthens habit. Unplanned indulgence weakens it. Automatic discipline also requires patience. Habits take time. The weak self rushes. Stoicism waits calmly. Marcus Aurelius compared growth to nature. Trees do not hurry. They grow steadily. As habits solidify, discipline stops feeling like effort. It becomes background behavior. At this stage, you are no longer fighting yourself. You are aligned. The weak self fades because it is no longer rewarded. Comfort loses power. Delay loses appeal. What remains is calm momentum. This chapter invites you to focus less on intensity and more on consistency. Small actions repeated daily transform character. Discipline becomes automatic not through force, but through repetition guided by reason. In the next chapter, you will learn how Stoic discomfort strengthens habits and prevents discipline from weakening over time. Chapter 4. Using discomfort to harden discipline. Discipline grows strongest when it is tested by discomfort. Comfort weakens habits. Ease makes the mind soft. The Stoics understood this truth clearly. They did not seek suffering, but they did not avoid discomfort either. They used it as training. This chapter is about learning to use discomfort as fuel instead of fear. The weak version of yourself runs from discomfort. It avoids cold mornings, hard conversations, focused effort, and quiet reflection. It chooses what feels good now, not what builds strength later. Stoicism reverses this instinct. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that discomfort is not harm, it is sensation. Pain, effort, and inconvenience are not enemies. They are teachers. Discipline becomes fragile when it only works in ideal conditions. True discipline survives bad days, low energy, and emotional resistance. This is where Stoic discomfort training matters. The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort. They chose small hardships to strengthen the mind. Cold water, simple food, silence, early rising, physical exertion. These were not punishments. They were preparation. When you choose discomfort, you control it. When life brings discomfort, you endure it. The weak self waits for motivation. The Stoic acts despite resistance. This builds confidence that does not depend on mood. Discomfort trains the nervous system. It teaches the body that discomfort is survivable. Each exposure reduces fear. Over time, discomfort loses its power. This is critical for discipline. Most people fail not because tasks are hard, but because discomfort feels threatening. Stoicism removes this illusion. Epictetus taught that it is not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Discomfort only becomes suffering when the mind labels it as unbearable. When you stop arguing with discomfort, it weakens. One way to apply this is through deliberate difficulty. Make easy things slightly harder on purpose. Walk instead of sit. Focus without music. Work without distraction. Train when tired. These choices sharpen discipline. However, Stoicism warns against extremes. Discomfort should be controlled and purposeful. Excess destroys consistency. The goal is resilience, not punishment. Another method is reframing effort. Instead of saying, "This is hard," say, "This is training." Language shapes perception. The Stoics were precise with words for this reason. When effort becomes training, resistance decreases. Discomfort also reveals truth. It exposes weaknesses hidden by comfort. When tired, distracted, or stressed, your real habits appear. This information is valuable. Marcus Aurelius used self-observation constantly. He studied his reactions under pressure. Do not judge yourself harshly during discomfort. Observe, learn, adjust. The weak self avoids reflection because it fears seeing flaws. The Stoic welcomes awareness because improvement depends on it. Discomfort also strengthens patience. When you stay present during discomfort instead of escaping, time slows. The mind becomes steady. This steadiness transfers to discipline. Tasks that once felt unbearable become manageable. Another Stoic practice is negative visualization. Imagine hardship before it arrives. This reduces shock. When discomfort comes, it feels familiar. Familiarity breeds calm. For example, imagine working when exhausted. Imagine staying disciplined during stress. When these moments occur, you respond with readiness instead of panic. The weak self is surprised by difficulty. The Stoic expects it. Discomfort also humbles ego. When effort is hard, pride dissolves. You stop performing and start practicing. This humility protects discipline from vanity. Marcus Aurelius warned against seeking praise for effort. Discipline is for character, not display. Another key lesson is separating discomfort from danger. Most discomfort is safe. The mind exaggerates threat. Stoicism cuts through this illusion. When you feel resistance, ask, "Is this harmful or merely uncomfortable?" Often, it is only uncomfortable. This question restores reason. Discomfort also builds self-trust. Each time you endure voluntarily, you prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. This confidence compounds. The weak self doubts. The Stoic knows. This self-trust is quiet. It does not boast. It simply acts. Another aspect is staying still. Modern life teaches constant escape. Phones, noise, distraction. Stoicism teaches stillness. Sitting with discomfort without distraction trains discipline deeply. It strengthens attention and emotional control. Seneca wrote that constant entertainment weakens the soul. Silence restores it. Discomfort also sharpens gratitude. When you willingly experience less, you appreciate more. Simple things regain value. This gratitude stabilizes discipline. You stop chasing pleasure and start valuing sufficiency. Discipline also benefits from physical discomfort. Movement under strain builds mental endurance. The body and mind are connected. Marcus Aurelius valued physical training because it supported mental strength. However, the Stoics always emphasized wisdom. Discomfort should support virtue, not injure health. Balance remains essential. Another important idea is not labeling discomfort as failure. Feeling resistance does not mean discipline is weak. It means discipline is working. Resistance appears when growth begins. The weak self quits at resistance. The Stoic continues calmly. Discomfort also reduces fear of the future. When you practice enduring difficulty, uncertainty loses power. You trust your ability to adapt. This trust frees energy. Over time, discomfort becomes familiar. Familiarity reduces emotional charge. What once felt unbearable becomes normal. This is how discipline hardens. Eventually, comfort becomes suspicious. Ease feels incomplete. Effort feels grounding. This is not obsession. It is alignment. The Stoics did not glorify suffering. They glorified mastery. Discomfort was simply a tool. Use it wisely. As discipline strengthens through discomfort, emotional reactions weaken. You stop reacting automatically. You choose responses. This is Stoic freedom. In the next chapter, you will learn how to protect discipline from ego, pride, and external validation, ensuring it remains internal and unbreakable. Chapter 5. Protecting discipline from ego and external validation. Discipline collapses quietly when ego takes control. Many people believe they fail because they lack willpower, but more often they fail because they seek approval. When discipline depends on praise, it becomes fragile. The Stoics warned strongly against this trap. This chapter teaches how to protect discipline by making it internal, silent, and independent of attention. The weak version of yourself wants recognition. It wants others to notice effort, praise progress, and confirm worth. When that validation disappears, motivation fades. Discipline tied to applause cannot survive long. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to work without witnesses. He wrote that the best actions are done quietly, without need for approval. True strength does not announce itself. Stoic discipline grows inward, not outward. Ego wants results quickly. It wants dramatic change and visible success. When results are slow, ego becomes impatient and quits. Stoicism rejects this urgency. Discipline is not performance. It is practice. When you act for validation, you surrender control. Your mood becomes dependent on others. This dependence weakens focus and consistency. Epictetus taught that freedom comes from controlling what is yours and releasing what is not. Approval is never yours. Effort is. Protect discipline by anchoring it to effort, not outcome. Another danger is identity attachment. When you label yourself as disciplined, ego wants to defend that image. Failure then feels threatening. Shame appears. Avoidance follows. The Stoics avoided rigid identities. They focused on actions, not labels. You are not disciplined. You practice discipline. This subtle shift removes pressure. When you slip, you adjust instead of quitting. Ego also seeks comparison. It measures progress against others. Comparison breeds either arrogance or discouragement. Both weaken discipline. Marcus Aurelius warned that comparison steals peace. Each person has a different path, capacity, and season. Discipline thrives when attention stays inward. Another ego trap is moral superiority. Feeling better than others for being disciplined creates tension and pride. Pride blinds awareness. Seneca warned that pride is the enemy of wisdom. It stops learning. Stoic discipline remains humble. It does not judge others, it simply acts. External validation also creates inconsistency. When effort feels unseen, motivation drops. When praised, effort spikes. This emotional fluctuation breaks rhythm. Stoicism seeks steadiness. One way to protect discipline is secrecy. Do not announce goals. Do not share routines prematurely. Let actions remain private. Silence strengthens resolve. Another method is reframing success. Success is not praise, numbers, or attention. Success is showing up when resistance appears. This definition is stable. The Stoics measured success by alignment with virtue, not by outcomes. Virtue includes patience, effort, honesty, and restraint. Discipline becomes durable when aligned with values instead of rewards. Another powerful practice is journaling privately. Marcus Aurelius wrote for himself, not for an audience. His words were reminders, not performances. Write honestly, no filters, no audience. This honesty strengthens discipline. Ego also seeks comfort through excuses. It rationalizes skipping effort to protect self-image. Stoicism demands radical responsibility. Epictetus said that excuses are chains. Responsibility is freedom. When discipline slips, do not explain. Correction builds strength. Another risk is attaching discipline to mood. Ego says, I don't feel like it today. Stoicism says, feelings are weather. Discipline does not negotiate with mood. This detachment protects consistency. External validation also fuels impatience. When others progress faster, ego panics. When results lag, frustration grows. Stoicism reminds us that time is neutral. Progress unfolds at its pace. Patience is discipline's shield. Another technique is removing audience cues. Train without mirrors. Work without sharing updates. Reduce social proof. When effort feels empty of attention, you test your commitment. This test strengthens discipline. Ego also loves extremes. It pushes too hard to prove worth, then collapses. Stoicism values moderation. Consistency outperforms intensity. Marcus Aurelius practiced steadiness. He avoided dramatic swings. Protect discipline by choosing sustainable effort. Another lesson is accepting invisibility. Much of discipline happens unnoticed. This invisibility builds character. The Stoics believed virtue shines brightest in darkness. Do not fear being unseen. Ego also fears starting small. Small actions feel unimpressive. Stoicism values beginnings. Epictetus taught that progress starts where resistance is smallest. Small actions repeated silently build unstoppable momentum. External validation also distorts priorities. You begin choosing actions that look impressive rather than those that matter. Stoicism demands honesty over image. Ask yourself, would I do this if no one knew? If not, reconsider. This question clarifies intention. Another protection is remembering mortality. Marcus Aurelius reflected often on death. When life is short, approval loses importance. Perspective dissolves ego. Discipline rooted in mortality becomes urgent but calm. Ego also clings to past success. It says, I've already proven myself. This creates stagnation. Stoicism teaches perpetual practice. Each day begins anew. Do not live on past effort. External validation also fuels resentment. When effort goes unnoticed, bitterness appears. Stoicism eliminates entitlement. You are not owed recognition. Release expectation. This release frees energy. Another Stoic practice is voluntary humility. Accept being average. Accept learning. Accept correction. Humility sharpens discipline. Ego resists correction. Stoicism welcomes it. When feedback hurts, examine it calmly. Another danger is turning discipline into identity armor. Using it to feel superior hides insecurity. True discipline does not need defense. It simply continues. Protect discipline by focusing on process. Process is controllable. Outcomes fluctuate. When attention stays on process, ego quiets. Finally, remember that discipline is a relationship with yourself. Betrayal hurts more than failure. Act with integrity. Keep promises small and kept. Trust builds quietly. In the next and final chapter, you will learn how to integrate all Stoic principles into a disciplined life that remains strong through chaos, uncertainty, and change. Chapter 6. Integrating Stoic discipline into a life that cannot be broken. Discipline becomes unshakable when it is no longer something you do, but something you live. This final chapter brings everything together. Stoic discipline is not a phase, a challenge, or a burst of motivation. It is a way of existing in the world with clarity, restraint, and purpose. Most people fail because they treat discipline as temporary force. They push themselves for a while, then collapse. The Stoics understood that force fades, but structure remains. A disciplined life is built, not forced. Marcus Aurelius lived surrounded by chaos, pressure, and loss. He did not wait for perfect conditions. He shaped his inner life so outer disorder could not rule him. This is the Stoic goal. Integration begins with identity. Not ego identity, but role identity. You are a student of life, a guardian of your mind, a steward of your actions. This mindset removes drama and replaces it with duty. Epictetus taught that life gives each person a role. Your task is not to choose the role, but to play it well. Discipline is how you play it well. This perspective simplifies everything. You stop asking, "What do I feel like doing?" and begin asking, "What is required now?" Discipline becomes practical, not emotional. Integration also means accepting imperfection. Stoicism does not demand flawless behavior. It demands honest correction. You will fail. You will drift. The disciplined mind returns without self-punishment. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily to begin again. Consistency is not never falling. It is rising without drama. A Stoic life also respects rhythm, work and rest, action and reflection. Discipline without rest becomes brittle. Stoicism values balance. Rest is not weakness. It is maintenance. Another key integration is aligning discipline with values. Discipline without values becomes empty suffering. Values give discipline meaning. Ask yourself why you choose effort. Is it for growth, service, integrity, or freedom? When purpose is clear, discipline feels lighter. Seneca warned against meaningless endurance. Pain alone does not make you strong. Purpose does. A disciplined Stoic life also accepts uncertainty. Plans change, outcomes fail, control is limited. Discipline adapts instead of resisting. Rigid minds break. Flexible minds endure. Stoicism trains adaptability by focusing on principles, not rigid rules. Principles guide action regardless of circumstance. One principle is focus on what you control, your effort, your response, your attitude. This focus prevents overwhelm. When chaos rises, narrow attention. Another principle is negative visualization. Briefly imagine loss, difficulty, or failure. This prepares the mind and reduces fear. Marcus Aurelius used this practice to remain steady. Preparation removes shock. Integration also means using daily rituals, morning intention, evening reflection. These bookends stabilize discipline. Morning sets direction. Evening provides correction. Write briefly, act honestly. Stoic discipline also shapes relationships. You stop trying to control others. You stop reacting emotionally. You act with fairness. This reduces conflict and conserves energy. Another integration is embracing discomfort voluntarily. Cold, effort, silence, simplicity. These train resilience. Seneca practiced voluntary hardship to reduce fear of loss. Comfort weakens discipline. Controlled discomfort strengthens it. A disciplined life also simplifies desires. Stoicism teaches that wanting less creates freedom. When desires multiply, discipline collapses under pressure. Reduce wants. Increase clarity. Integration also means respecting time. Time is non-renewable. Discipline treats time as sacred. Wasted time is wasted life. Marcus Aurelius wrote that life is short and slipping away. This awareness sharpens focus. Another Stoic integration is detachment from outcome. You work fully, then release attachment. This prevents emotional exhaustion. Effort belongs to you. Results do not. This detachment creates calm productivity. A disciplined Stoic life also practices self-compassion without softness. You correct without cruelty. Harshness creates resistance. Honesty creates growth. Epictetus taught firmness with kindness toward yourself. Integration also requires courage. Discipline often feels lonely. Others may not understand your restraint. Accept this solitude. Stoicism prepares you to stand alone if needed. Another aspect is long-term thinking. Discipline looks beyond today. It builds for future strength. Short-term comfort is tempting. Long-term character is rare. Choose character. A disciplined Stoic life also welcomes responsibility. Responsibility is not burden. It is purpose. Taking ownership strengthens agency. Avoid blaming circumstances. Another integration is silence. Silence trains control. Not every thought needs expression. Not every emotion needs display. Silence protects energy. Marcus Aurelius valued inner dialogue over outer noise. A Stoic life also respects nature. You are part of something larger. Seasons change. Effort rises and falls. Do not demand constant intensity. Flow with reality. Integration also means teaching by example, not preaching. Stoicism is lived quietly. Your calm will speak louder than words. A disciplined life also avoids extremes. Balance effort with wisdom. Too much force creates burnout. Stoicism values moderation. Another key is gratitude. Gratitude stabilizes discipline. It reminds you why effort matters. Gratitude prevents bitterness. Marcus Aurelius practiced gratitude even in war. Integration also means remembering death, not morbidly, but clearly. Death clarifies priorities. When time is finite, excuses fade. Live accordingly. A disciplined Stoic life does not chase happiness. It builds peace. Happiness fluctuates. Peace remains. Peace comes from alignment with reason. Finally, integration means commitment without drama. You do not announce discipline. You live it. Quiet effort builds quiet power. Day by day, choice by choice, you shape yourself. You will not feel powerful at first. Power grows invisibly. One day, you will realize chaos no longer controls you. Emotion no longer rules you. Validation no longer moves you. You will act from clarity. This is Stoic discipline. This is freedom. This is the path of the Stoic Tide. If this journey strengthened your mind, like this video to support calm strength, subscribe to the Stoic Tide for more timeless wisdom, and share this with someone ready to master themselves.